started out our day with an amazing session. It's not every day you get to see the owners and the company chat with you, but you need to believe what they told you. Okay? Come on in. Are you up here? Are you Joshua?
Yep.
All right, you're here. Who's there? Nobody's really. Good time to take that off.
They never showed.
She was here. Musical chairs. Sound music stops.
We're asking the ones that are sitting alongside you to just scoot in just a tad because your deals in this room is all over the place, okay? We want to start out, all of you know who each other are because you're traveling from class to class. We want to introduce ourselves to you. I'm Jackie, district leader from Utah, the northern part of Utah, and a little bit in the middle. Been with QK about 7 years. Prior to that, Denny's corporate for, I don't know, about 100 years or so. And then we're going to turn it over here.
I'm Jim Coulter. Some of you already know me. I'm fortunate enough to be with QK 1 month after Doug and Robbie started.
First DL hired, right? Or
That's
first,
a GM then, and the
First
first
GM.
DL, yeah. And then he
First
has
DL.
me, right.
so that's pretty amazing.
David Baxter, Tucson, Arizona, Southern
Yeah.
District. So,
Tucson.
He has his own fan club.
12 years.
I'm Judy Lyon, New Mexico, and I've got 3 stores in Texas.
You?
Gerald Tiev, Arizona, Northern Arizona, New Mexico. Been with Denny's 29 years in office.
Yes, yes, excellent. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of housekeeping stuff. Everybody should have their phones off right now. Let's leave them off. We're going to give you our attention, and we'd like your attention right back now. So
Turn it on, take it.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
turn them off. Okay, so we are Obsessive Hospitality. So when you think of Obsessive Hospitality, you probably have a broad range of things that come to your mind, right? All the way from proper training, creating wow moments for your guests, which is what we like, having the right attitude, having that those wow moments in your stores from everybody, your whole staff. Using tact, which we're going to discuss in more detail in a little while. We're going to go, and we are hoping that we could move from good to great. And then down the road, maybe even from great to excellent. So we're going to have those moments. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff up here as we go through this. So, but for right now, we are going to start with what the objectives of this class are. So, sales building. Why are we here?
Make money.
20 and 5.
20 and 5.
20 and 5.
Why are we here? 20 and 5. Yeah. That was better than the first week. We're also going to discuss community involvement and what all that entails for you. We're going to go over Yext scores. Social media is a huge, huge thing right now, and I don't think anybody here would disagree with me. We talk about it all the time. We're always asking you about it, and we hopefully get you to look at your scores all the time as well. We're going to cover guest complaints and what we can do to eliminate them, because our goal for guest complaints is 0. All right, and of course we're going to cover guest service. So we'll get started with this, and we have a question and answer session as we go along. So let's get going.
Does anybody know what this page is? Some of you came from that other, all of you came to the class, I hope you touched on this. Some of the things we're going to be talking about, or almost everything we're talking about, is going to be accessible from here, including this class. So if we get back to your restaurants, if you want to show it to your RMs, your 055s, your training managers, you can go to this splash page and be able to bring up this exact class. Okay?
And just because you open this page up on your tablet or your back of house doesn't mean your whole system freezes. So don't be scared.
Just do it.
Let's just do it.
You're not going to hurt it, we promise.
Did anybody guess what we're going to talk about now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, 20 and 5. So this is where we don't worry, because Doug and Dennis, Dale and Shanna, they made these wonderful pills for us. And all you have to do is take one of these with a glass of water, before your shift, and we will guarantee to be up 25. So, Shannon gave us a box of them. Can you grab us one?
I got it.
And we'll go from there. And what this is, guys, so this is just easy. It's just a magic pill that you just take and then, boom, 20 and 5, guaranteed. All we can do is go in the office, have some margaritas, and we're ready to go.
Really?
Yeah, what are you
Just a second. Here we go.
doing? Oh. All right, will you
Oh,
throw
look
that
right
to
now.
me? So there we go. So you just got to take one of these with a glass of water. You're good, all right? So is there a magic pill that we can take to be up 20 and 5?
No.
No, there's not. There's no magic pill. So, oh! Hey, there we go. At least she didn't throw it to me. Watch out for eyeballs. Young lady's very dangerous.
Sorry.
So, if you'll go to the next slide. And then there we go.
Oh,
Oh, we
my
have a guest
goodness.
complaint.
Oh,
There's a guest complaint. Hello? Hello?
this is David. May I help you, please?
Hey, my sister and I, we were hanging out in your restaurant. You are the manager, right?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. We were hanging out in your restaurant a few days ago, and my sister and I, we talked about it for about 3 days, and decided I was gonna call you today. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I was really I couldn't get my coffee cup right now.
Ma'am, do you know who your server was?
Oh, yeah, Nikki Jo. But she never came back. And I tried to flag down people, but everybody was busy. I don't know what they were doing. There was no tables in there.
I'm very, very sorry, ma'am. Did you see the manager on duty? Did he come by and talk to you?
I think it was his day off.
Oh my God, I am so sorry.
What store were you in? I want to work there.
I would like to invite you back in, please. Would that be okay?
Could I get my coffee?
I would love to get you coffee, and I would love to take care of your meal while you're coming in.
Can my sister come with me?
You know what? Yes, ma'am. Please bring her. That way we can apologize in person.
All right.
Okay, so we had a little guest complaint, a little Saturday. So, you know, you're cooking. So make sure you don't even want that phone call. Get off the cook's line, go take the phone call. So, and then we got to trust what she's saying. You know, you saw my eyes where I'm like, oh my God, do not have time for this right now. But you got to have time for this. So what as a manager on duty could I have done different? What did I do wrong?
Oh, let me throw candy.
That much? What did I do wrong with it? Yes, ma'am.
You didn't let her pick what she wanted. You could have told her, what can we do to make it better?
Good
Yeah.
job.
And you didn't apologize first. You gotta apologize. You didn't then.
Right, exactly.
Instead of
You didn't-
trusting your jabs,
you didn't think-
started asking questions, you know, who was the server, where was the manager? You just gotta trust what the guest is telling you.
Maybe even thanking them
Thank them for calling
you know,
you.
for calling me and letting me know about the
Yeah.
situation.
Oh, man, I don't want to get back.
So Brandon,
Sorry.
Oh, see, I thought you were the
I
grad.
did some things
That's
right,
right, man.
but I didn't handle that with love and understanding. I really didn't. I was,
You
huh?
didn't seem like you cared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanna put a band-aid
He was
on it.
paying more
Yeah,
attention to me than.
she was telling me they needed me on the cook's line. I had to go, I just wanted, but, so Brandon, I did get her back in, but just barely.
Barely.
Your response
It's-
wasn't sincere.
No, it was
Oh,
not.
very good.
Very
Made it
Good stuff.
server's fault.
You didn't get
It was the
any of
server
her
on duty.
information.
All that,
Yeah,
you-
I just wanted to hurry up and blame someone.
But you didn't get any of her information so that when she did come in, you could
Very
go up and
good.
greet her.
Okay, you'll go, you'll keep going.
How could this whole thing have been prevented in this first place?
Table tension.
If the manager was on the floor,
The manager was on the floor.
touching
How
tables.
long are our guests in our restaurants?
30 minutes, an hour.
30 minutes. So
I'm just,
if the manager
Somebody
was
over
obviously
here.
off the floor.
I'm not gonna answer any questions. I don't want her to hit you.
Okay, let's go to the next.
I appreciate it. The eyes, that's what they meant by the eyes.
Okay, there's four ways to to increase our sales. Believe it or not, we all have people who have never been in a dentist, okay? Every neighborhood, every city, every town where there's not been a dentist. Those are called our first-time customers, okay? They're also our lapsed customers. That means people that used to come to Denny's and haven't anymore. You'll probably every once in a while, you'll hear a guest say, I haven't been to a Denny's in years, I was in this. Okay? The next is changing the frequency. How many guests do you guys have in an average week? 3,000, 4,000, 4,500?
45.
You get half of those guests to visit your store one more time that week. Once a year. Every week you got one of those, half of those guests that visit you one time. Do you think that would help you build your...
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to get to that 520 in just a second. What's next one? Guest checkout. Has anybody heard of guest checkout?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We have contests, we have alley rallies, we have postings, we have whatever. We buy lottery tickets, we buy candy, we do whatever we can to improve our guest checkout. We upsell it with merchandising. Least favorite price increases because that makes your guests go away, then you got to work hard to get them to come back. The last way, we never think about this as partisan. While you're at their table touching, do you ever ask your guests, oh, so where are you working? I see you right here for lunch every day at 11 o'clock or on Mondays and Wednesdays. Oh, I work at the doctor's office or something. Well, bring your friends in sometime and, 3 or 4 of you come in, I'll buy you guys all a cup of coffee or something. Or stop down your way to work. Get somebody to bring somebody with you, okay? Does 5 and 20, or 20 and 5, whatever, does that seem like a very large number to try to do?
Yeah.
So, how many of you are like a $1.5 million store? Half of you, a third of you, or more?
At least 1.5.
Okay, so 1.5 million, let's break it down a little bit to where it's a manageable piece. It boils down to take the late night out of the equation. Let's just talk about 2 shifts a day, which is day shift and swing shift. Okay? $80 a day. 20% increase on a $1.5 million store is $80 a day. That's 40 for day shift, 40 for swing shift. Does most of you have, like, say, 3 servers on the floor at least for day and swing? So let's say each one of those, let's break it down to them. It's $1.17 an hour. For 3 servers on day, 3 on swing. You just did 20 and 5. Is that an obtainable goal?
Of course it is.
If you break it down into a half hour, remember our guests are in there for 38 minutes? That's 63 cents in 30 minutes. That's one guest, they gotta sell one table, they gotta sell 63 cents. Think we can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And believe it or not, do not get shocked when I tell you this. So this is something that probably a lot of you have never really heard before, and it could be a little shocking in the beginning. But there's only 2 ways to build sales, really. There's lots of little nuances that you can do, but you increase your guests or you increase the amount that they spend in your unit. So the easiest and the least cost-effective way to build sales is taking your busiest hour and making it busier. So you want to target your Saturday and Sunday mornings from 9 to 1, from 4 to 7, whatever your busiest hours are, and make them busy. So when you go back to your units this Sunday, walk into your unit, walk down the middle of your aisle and go, it's 10:30, I'm doing $1,000 an hour. How can I be busier? Are you kidding me, right? I'm doing $1,000 an hour. Well, really look at your business and look around. And when you're looking around, you'll see a couple red tickets. Just a couple, because you guys are doing a great job. You'll see 4 dirty tables. You'll see about 6 or 7 tables that aren't pre-bussed properly. And you'll see a line out the door. So we want to move those guests and get them in as fast as we can. This is the time of day when people want to go out to eat. This is not 3 o'clock in the afternoon where you have to spend a lot of money to get people to come. This is lunchtime. So how are we going to do that? So, we're going to find out what our obstacle is. Now, the obstacle for each of you is different, guaranteed. Might be a couple of you the same, but it's different. So, Judy, if you'll go ahead. And these are ideas because there's so much difference in what's going on in your unit to make you turn your $1,000 hour into a $1,200 hour, your $1,200 hour to a $1,500 hour. It's so different. We want you guys to go back and look at things. But we're going to give you a couple ideas. Double check your tools and equipment. So does anybody have something that says, hey, I can have this fixed? What if I'm down a fryer? And then that little time between 11 and 12, your fry guy's struggling. Well, if you got half a grill out and your pancake guy's struggling, so your guests are waiting on pancakes. You have a toaster that's burning on one side, so you have to do the little flippity flop that we've all done. So these are things that speed of service. Yeah. Go to the next one. Now, prepare your workspace. So let's have some ideas about what you guys would do to turn your $1,200 hour into a $1,400 hour as far as prepare your workspace goes.
Proper staffing.
Staffing?
Prep and pull. I remember that lady. Prep and pull.
Prep and pull. Are you ready? So is your hash browns already panned up for your cooks, or do they have to go back there and grab one and half of it goes on the floor? Is your bacon and sausage pulled? So what about front of the house? What will we do? What can we do?
Pre-shifts, meetings, letting them know the expectations, pre-busing, doing the ITT with the guest.
Clear the way. I'll get better.
Good. What about maybe making some pre-made salads?
Pre-made salads, setting up your coffee.
Pre-made fruit.
So much
Exactly.
to go stuff.
So, how many times in our unit, it's 11:30, 12 o'clock, and we have 4 servers rolling silverware for the guests? These are the little
Get
things.
more silverware for crying out loud.
These are the little things that add up into those minutes where you can't turn that $1,000, $1,200 hour back to back out. Right. Next thing. Okay, now this is kind of new for us also. We all know it, but it's never really been approached. But schedule the right people for the right roles at the right times. Now this simply means, and it's in the restaurant industry, aces in places.
Aces in their place.
So your best people are in the best sections and doing what they do best. We'll start with a little cook example. So on a Sunday morning, Andre, sorry, I know you got the best egg guy in the whole company. Where should he be on Sunday morning?
Fries.
Exactly right. Oh, so okay, so our best server. Where would our best server be? We want our best server in the best section.
Yeah.
I agree.
So if our best server is Sally Mae, and we put her in, let's just say section 1 is your best section. And David comes up to you and goes, hey, I want to be in section 1. No, Sally Mae's my best server. She is the starting quarterback. We're in the Super Bowl. It's Sunday. I'm starting her there. Well, no, I do just as good a job as she does. Well, you need to be prepared to explain why Sally Mae is the best server. So how is Sally Mae the best server? So how can we judge that?
GCA data.
Because she can still do her upselling and her pre-busing and her
Let's go to the scorecard.
Turning in
Scorecard.
progress,
Server scorecard.
whether it's-
Exactly. There's proof. It's not about attitude. It's not about any other thing than what we can prove. And that is why we can put our best people in the best positions, because we have the proof to back that up. So if you don't have the proof, if it's just your gut feeling, then it's just a gut feeling. Don't do it.
Or favoritism. Can't do that.
You need to have proof.
So I'm saying
Okay, so experts. Ask the expert. As Dennis said earlier, you guys are just so important to the running of the restaurant. this represents who you are. And you need to go back into your units and look at your people with love and understanding. But your restaurant, look at it with a critical eye. And find out how we can turn those sales 20 and 5 and get those results. Star trainers. Now this one also is a little feedbacky, because if you find out that you need help in the kitchen, well then that's okay, because your cooks are going to get some help. So if you find out that you're lacking a server or two, then that might be a difficult conversation for you to have with your staff. That, hey, I'm sorry, we have to serve 2 more servers on, or 1 more server. You know, they're not going to be as receptive as your cook or your dishwasher would. But what would be an example of a staffing issue that we could do to turn? Remember, we're doing a great job. We're doing, let's say $1,200 that hour. So we want to turn that into a $1,400 hour. So what would something that one of your units could do to make that happen? Any idea?
Yeah,
Get
there's
everybody on
several.
the same page.
What's that, sir?
You can expedite, make sure there's a full-time expediter.
Put an expediter,
Expediter.
a little more delegating to the hostess.
Right.
Have somebody to seat and then take it off.
Well, remember, you guys are doing a great job. You're doing $1,200 an hour. Oh my gosh. But there's 8 guests during just that 1 hour that want to come in with their American Express, as Daryl says, and spend money in your unit that we can't get to because we just drug our feet.
Put another busser.
Busser on the floor.
Busser on the floor.
So if you feel like you
Move
have,
those tables as fast as you can.
I want to say 8 servers on the floor. If you
Sales.
feel like your 8 servers are awesome and they're upselling and they're doing a great job, then maybe they just need a busser.
Everybody need a busser.
Even just adding another server, because even if they have a smaller
Right.
section, you're able to turn your tables quicker if you
Yeah.
have less tables. Just because you have less tables doesn't mean you're going to
Mike
make
and I
less.
have been learning
You're
that.
going to be able to turn your
Or
tables
can a
quicker.
hostess get a drink order?
Absolutely, they can bring
The
that up.
next one, Judy.
If they're not cashing out everybody.
No.
Okay, so before you do anything, make sure to ask your district leader. Well, bottom fine friend. Okay, we're gonna do this a lot because we all have different ways.
This is David's disclaimer.
Yes,
So we can come back
exactly,
later
the
and
small
say
print.
anything.
So our goal is 20 and 5, right?
Yes.
And that's not a very out of touch goal. So we want you guys we want to make you guys this job easier. We're not here to dump a bunch of stuff in your lap and to keep you busy. We're here to give you knowledge that you can take back to your units and sip margaritas in the office while your restaurant's running great. So again,
After the district.
disclaimer. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so we want to build the vehicle. So again, it goes with great teams. You guys need to do, all your orientations, and you're the welcome. You're the face, and you set the example from day one. So build teams on who you guys want, and we'll go from there. Also, there's a top 10 and a bottom 10. Now, the top 10 employees, you love, nurture, and keep moving them forward. Your bottom 10 employees, you love, nurture, and move them forward. That's what we strive to do as a company. You can see, but because of all the longevity of all the managers and some of our employees, that's our battle cry. That's what we truly, truly believe. But there's sometimes with your bottom 10 where after you love, nurture, and they can't move forward, then let's promote them to guests. So they are no longer employees, they are a valued guest. So that's how we want to look at that. If we have to make that pull, then we do that with love and nurturing. So the same way we hire them, okay?
Proper documentation.
Yes. Next duty. So again, we go to aces and places. This is the most important thing you can do for top line sales compression. You're busy people, you're people who do the job constantly, who are always on time. You can pull up your attendance record. So if you have a couple people who want to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, but you only have one who actually is on time, for all their shifts, then that's the one. So there's all kind of evidence that we can have these aces in places. Contests. Okay, contests, guys. Contests should be run on every shift. You can do it with front and the back, but every shift, especially on your busy times, you need to have a contest. Now, what that contest is, whatever's important to your store. Highest sales doesn't have to roll any silverware. Lowest sales rolls it all. But these are just ideas that I've personally done. But I tend, in my unit, ask your district leader, I do a lot of gift cards. If you buy a Starbucks gift card on Sunday morning and have a GCA contest, and your little $10 gift card did $200 in sales, the cost on it was 5%. So you made 95% off that little investment. So there's times where you guys need to think out the box, and with this company, you have a lot of permission, ask your district leader, to think outside the box to get these objectives done. So, what is our objective?
20 and 5.
20 and 5. Okay, so go to the next one, Judy. Okay, plan your route. So we've done all these great things. We just got to make sure that we're clean while we're doing it. You can't have all these great things going on and then all of a sudden it's just because your speed of service increased, the restaurant's falling apart around it. So make sure you guys are clean. Yes.
Can you give us some of your ideas? Because I come up with very few for back of house contests.
I always tag team. Sally Mae was with David. And if Sally Mae won the GCA, then he would get a part of it.
The cook.
The cook. So, yeah. And that way, well, that too. You can do the same.
Because I always think of front of house stuff.
If her table turn, if Sally's table turns were better than anybody else's, then tag them, your dishwasher came out and helped.
Okay.
So always,
Also with that too, just to let you know, for your service assistant, if you're the ones back there doing the dishes, if no one has to call for any clean dishes, that's a
Reward.
Okay.
but the easiest way is always tag team
Just simplify
someone
it. Just
in the
get
back
down
with
and
someone
do
in
what
the
you do.
front.
For cooks,
Okay,
I always just buy it.
Again, GCA contest.
Ask questions.
So contest, have contests every day, every shift, but especially on weekends. And they need to be big contests for our people. And I'm telling you, everybody here, no matter what volume you're doing, can increase your top line sales, your busiest hour, and making it busier by doing these things. Flow through is table turns, and we all know what table turns, it equals dollars. So we don't want to ship them in and ship them out, so to speak. But we do want them to enjoy their meal and then get out as fast as they can.
Don't go to the table for almost 30 minutes.
Yeah. And bounce backs. Okay, listen to her. So, on the bottom of your guest checks, you can put a little bounce back coupon to bring your guests back. Again, ask your district leader. Also, Denny's Corporate, which we use at some of our locations, have scratch-offs. So every guest that pays, give them a scratch-off. And those scratch-offs, they're actually free Grand Slams on there, free beverages, Denny's distribution.
Go to Splash Pad, 20% off that distribution. Good.
Yeah, they are awesome. Guests love them. Now don't give them to them while they're coming in, give them to them while they're leaving.
Yeah.
After they pay.
Yes, Okay, next. Yes. So, what do we want to do? We want to stop losing our guests. Again, this is where you look at your restaurant in a critical eye. This is your busiest time. So, next Saturday, because you're doing this on Sunday, at the end of the shift, who uses the wait list on the tablet? Okay, that's okay. I'm not here to judge, believe me. But look and see, there's information there on how many guests that left because your wait was too long. So if you just lose a couple of guests because they waited too long, and then a couple of guests that actually came in your restaurant and went, oh my God, I'm late. And then actually the elderly couple who drove around the parking lot 4 times looking for a handicap spot and never found it, so they left. I mean, these are top line sales events that will drastically lower your sales if you let them. But since we're not going to let them anymore, we can get 20 in 5. Okay, Judy, go down. Long ticket times and run them upright labor. So long ticket times, there's a reason. And your cooks, they will be honest with you and tell you. Now they can't say, hey, I need 3 more guys to help me out. We all know that's not going to happen. But we can find out and make sure the aces are at places, all their stuff is working, and their maybe schedule changes. Maybe 30 minutes early of having a cook standing there and waiting for a ticket to come in, rather than being a page back when they finally all 4 of them get there. It's just 90-day difference. So, you might want to add 30 minutes to your cooks. So the bottom line, be nice, give your guests a reason to come back. Because if they have great service on Saturday and Sunday, when they're looking for a place to eat on Tuesday or Wednesday, they'll remember you. If they had a bad experience or a not so great experience on Saturday and Sunday, they will look otherwhere for Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's capture all the guests that we can so we can get to 25. Awesome.
Good.
All right.
Okay, so far we've covered where we can get some of this information on the Internet Splash page. We've discussed sales building, who our guests are, first-time guests, lapsed guests, increasing party size. We've talked about sales increases, easy ways to do that. Sales compression, getting more guests in the door faster. We've talked about making sure the equipment that we're cleaning every day actually works. Making sure that we have everything our guests need in the restaurant before they get there for it. Is anything we talked about creating more work for you? No. Part of doing this is taking it, breaking it down into small pieces. I talked about the $1.17 per server per hour, right? Right there, okay, oh, that's an easy part. What David just explained, we don't even need that because we're just going to bring the extra bodies in. Do you think that those extra bodies that he's saying you can squeeze in there would give you your $80 a day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And let's say you walked out right now and you went down to the casino and there's a guy in front of the cash machine, gave me American Express and said, hey, just come and tell me what you want me to, and I'll do it. Would you not go over and talk to that person? Well, that's exactly what's happening in our dining rooms, and we walk by and go to the office. Next time. Okay, community involvement. Does anybody here think community involvement is difficult? I'll tell you right now it's not. By the time we get through this section, you'll see it's not. Is there anybody here that does community involvement? A lot of you. Fabulous. I don't mean to pick on people. Sharon, you do community involvement. I mean, so often, I don't even know what they are. You call them, hey, I just did this, right?
Yeah.
How hard is that?
That's not hard at all.
But you do major events almost every year, lots of them. How hard are they?
They're fun.
People look forward to it. All of you out there that I know that do them, they're easy to do, and they make a difference. Okay? Go ahead and look this side. Okay? There's 3 types of events you can do. Okay? A fundraiser, which is you, lots of ways you fundraise. You're actually making money for a specific thing. Now, Jim's going to go into some real basic, easy fundraisers. You can pick them off and do them, and somebody else is doing all the work. You're reaping the rewards. And guess what? You're getting new guests, and you're getting lapsed guests. The thing is community involvement. Do something that's a part of your community. This particular one in the middle is a Alzheimer's marathon. Our servers, we paid their entry fees, put them in Denny's shirts, and they took part in the marathon. Okay? we're involved in our community. People see those Denny's trips running by, the marathon's over, they're hungry, they're thirsty. Denny's, even if they don't, we support our community and gave back. The last one is community support, an event in the community that needs our help. And that was several years ago, it was a little girl in the hospital. That actually was started with, I think, the power company. And we all jumped on in a single day. We took care of all the hospital bills, basically put it back.
And Daryl, how much money did you guys earn for that?
I know it scared out of me. I told you earlier.
$70,000
In one day.
in one day for this event.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
These events can be big, they can be little, but you gotta go do them, okay? I don't know how. Those of you that are doing them, you know how. It's just, you just do it, okay? Go to the next one.
I have a question.
Yes.
Since we're into community events, are you gonna raffle off those mascots?
Matt, we're off the what?
The mascots.
You want the bacon? Everybody loves bacon, that's what
Everybody.
Okay, we're gonna raffle off Judy, she was in the bed.
Oh, that might be it.
I think we have done that. So in the selection process, that's really simple, okay? Selection process, local schools. Anybody here, I'm sure probably some of you have a school in your community. One, maybe two. When was the last time you went over there and walked in the door and said, hey, I have the Denny's down the street. I don't need anything from you, but if there's anything you need, I'd be more than happy to give it to you. Just tell me what it is. Are they gonna throw you out? Okay? Go in there and introduce yourself. Go talk to them. Say, I have the full power of myself and my Denny's, and we are the largest franchisee there is. And you have the full power and our support to get you whatever you need. All you have to do is tell me what it is. That's simple. Just go do it. Next slide. Anybody have a senior center in your area?
Tucson, yeah.
Are you a restaurant?
Tucson is the senior center.
It's kind of a little slog, but our Silver Angel project we're just getting off the ground is getting those seniors, which they're kind of the forgotten people, back into the community, get them out of where they're at, get them out of those senior homes, go to the senior centers. Rebecca, you go to a senior center every week, right?
Yeah.
And we supply them with their coffee, their creamer, their sugar, whatever
Hot
they
chocolate.
need. Whatever they need. And if they ask you for something else, we go, absolutely. And what's funny is, how often do you go in there and you see our guests in there?
Every time I go in there.
And what do we get in return for that? We don't care. I'm gonna throw something out there that I haven't yet. If the first words out of your mouth is, well, how much is this gonna cost? Then you just wasted the whole thing. It doesn't matter because you're gonna get your return on this. I guarantee it. Okay, next slide. I don't know if I think my place where I live got in
See,
here.
right here, this is Daryl's house.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, I got the penthouse.
Everybody has a hospital, a mental health hospital. The reason we put their mental health centers, they really need our help. They have people of all ages, from children up, that need assistance. We do, Rebecca Kingman does, my kids, mentally ill kids in distress. Annually, she does periodically, Arizona Children's Association. Whatever these groups may need, we've had children 10, 12, 13 years old who have never had a new piece of clothing in their life. And we made sure they did. Partnered with, go to the next slide please, local partners. In that particular case, we partnered with JCPenney's, and JCPenney's and us, between us, we all got together and clothed like 35 different families for the entire year. Their coats, their pants, their shoes, their socks. That was the first year that Val Bear joined our company. Get a partner to help you. Next slide, please. These are just some things you can do. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is you do something. Top left one is mentally ill kids in distress, where the workers from that group are actually in our restaurant during the event, filling coffee, running plates, bussing tables. We've been doing it 12 years, I think, in that same store. This year we did $3,800 for Christmas, Thanksgiving, and clothing. We took care of 48 families of people. It's one on the right, that was several years ago, that's insurance neighborhood. That was just Easter. It started off with just a tub full of craft projects at a table in the park. By the time it was all said and done, we were sending pickup trucks to stores buying more supplies. There was over 2,000 people there. Giving out coupons for free ice cream. Bottom left corner is Arizona Children's Association receiving a donation from the fundraiser. The one on the right is drawing prizes for a raffle. The one in the middle, the one on the right is presenting a check to another group. You can print up these big checks that cost you about $20. You go to Staples, you print the check up, put it on a poster board, hold it up. We haven't done those type of presentations in that market for a while, but you can. Go on with the bookmobiles in town, have a rally, get people over there, buy them books, plant a garden, whatever you can do, just do something, okay?
Oh, no. I got a gas complaint. Leo is on the phone. I would like to speak to you about a yes comment.
So your comment has these pictures of your store being dirty. Not only are the pictures, these are on social media. So everybody that looks at this is going to see this.
So what is the major thing you see wrong with those two pictures?
No more free bus.
No pre-bus.
No free bus.
Seeing those pictures, what does that tell you went wrong? How could we have made that not go? Real quick before you answer that question, how many people do you think click on a Yext tab daily? Approximately. I just looked it up the other day, just out of curiosity. 1.8 million a day. Look at that restaurant. What could have prevented this? Remember, the key in eliminating guest complaints is prevention. Okay? Do you think the manager was on the floor, table touching?
Nobody tell there's no coaching in that store.
No.
Absolutely. There was no free busing. What time of day do you think that was? Shift change, more than likely. At 100%. Absolutely. By the way, these things that Judy's put up here, these are live complaints maybe out of one of your stores. So if that looks like your store maybe.
And if it's out of one of your stores, it's out of more than one.
Yeah, trust me.
None of these are a single isolated situation. Multiple times.
These are live complaints out of store.
So how many of you looked at these pictures and tried to figure out if it was your store?
Oh, they know who they are.
Good job. She's checking out the layout.
I'm like, no,
That's
I don't
not
have
those floors.
I don't have those floors. So
I
we're
don't
just
have
kind of
this
looking at this data, because we all know this has happened in our stores, right?
Yep.
Because life happens. Another preventative measure for this that we've talked about a little tiny bit, but not a lot, is teamwork. I don't care whose station this is. If you have a server that isn't busy, they should be helping pre-bus. They should be helping. Nobody should ever be empty-handed. Full hands in, full hands out. If we teach that and coach that, a lot of this can be prevented as well. What was that? Yeah, exactly, exactly. Jim? Oh, that's Daryl,
This
sorry.
is just a real quick card. This is available on the splash page on the internet to help you do your fundraiser if you haven't, or if you have, to help you plan it. Who's it going to be for? A school, a senior center. Good luck.
I'm sorry. I got it.
Yeah.
You can click that.
What's that?
You were clicking later. You
Oh,
were
I was
clicking.
clicking.
So-
Sorry, guys.
What it's going to be is it's going to be a spaghetti dinner, pancake breakfast, it's an open menu, 10%. In other words, bring all your friends in from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and we'll give you 10% of the menu proceedings. Who your partners are going to be. And this is not an all-inclusive list on by any means in any category. It's just to help you find, get your plan started. when it's gonna be. We're gonna do it on day swing, late night, what day of the week that we're gonna do, and what activities. We're gonna do a raffle, an auction, a contest, a marathon, a direct donation, which is a 10% based on sales. This helps you plan your event to actually make it happen, okay?
Thanks, Joe. Okay, so anybody need a stretch? Yeah, we're good? That's the after lunch deal that if anybody falls asleep, Jackie's gonna nail it. Because she's looking. She's looking, all right, so.
Just cover your eyes.
What I would do is, she's dangerous, yes.
Yeah.
So Daryl, the way that I got involved in fundraisers was Doug said, hey Jim, just call Daryl, he's got a lot of great ideas, and he does. I mean, look at what Daryl's talking about, right? And so I actually called Daryl easily 5 times. And the first time he's helping me and he's going, Jim, just do it. That's all he kept saying. No, I mean, he gave me these and maybe even more suggestions. But he always finished with, Jim, just do it, just do it. You've already heard him saying it today, right? So about the 5th call, he's going like, Daryl, what about those fundraisers? He goes, Jim, just do it, click. So I'm going like, okay, well, he's not going to talk anymore, right? So I hooked into doing together fundraisers, and they've been extremely profitable and easy to do. And what we do is we use the social media, but we wait for people to come to us for the money. We have gone out to, and everybody, people come in all the time and want money, right? They want your donation, they want you to give them a fundraiser or anything. Well, we have a template that's going to be on the internet, but they go out and sell the tickets for us. And so once they do that, we can do the flyers, we've done that. We post locally, we hang in the store, and we do use social media. And I'm going to use some social media today also. Judy and I are going to talk about Yext. Social media is definitely not going away. It's prevalent. It's more prevalent than when it first came out. I'm just going like, hey, I don't need to do Facebook. I don't need to do that or anything, right? But y'all got to do it now. It just has to happen. So I'm going to call some people out. I taught Frank. I think Priscilla, you were with me when we met Frank a couple of years ago in Alamogordo, right? And we did a fundraiser for veterans, right? And then Ellen, wait a minute, Ellen. Ellen does the veterans continuously. And tell us about that, Ellen. What's the lowest amount of money you've ever raised in 4 hours? Lowest?
$1,300.
$1,300. 4 hours of this baby fundraiser. And Priscilla did one for March of Dimes, and they came to us. They wanted a donation, right? Mm-hmm. And they came to us, and she just wanted like $50 or $100. And we do the fundraiser. And at the end of it, I think we had, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had $1,295. Priscilla wasn't going to stand for that, so she gave $5, and she wanted 13.
Yes.
So, and then the lady's just there. We took pictures and everything, and she's going like, "What do I do? What? I mean, I didn't have to do anything. They came in, they wanted a bus table. We're going, oh, just sit there and have your little booth with the purple and bus, right? And so we're just going, no. And then she's like looking at me and Priscilla, and she's going, I just exceeded my budget for fundraising for the year. And I told her your goals are too low. And then we went out here. And then a tragedy happened with us. Nobody got killed, but there was a school shooting in Roswell. We did a great fundraiser for that one. And we did put that on social media, right? Yes. And the radio station came and promoted our fundraiser for free. So that was a good one. And Eula has done some for the soccer team. That when we did a fundraiser for them, we got customers in that had never been to our games. And I'm sure that we brought them back. I might do this in something about Elizabeth does some great fundraisers. What Daryl does, again, Daryl's the master. He's the one, he does. I liken it to him. Daryl is like a rock festival, and I'm a rock concert. All right, I'm in and out. I'm done. I don't want to do that. What Daryl does, he creates great events, and Elizabeth does the same thing in Scottsdale. Hers is more of an event. Well, mine's an event too. Ours is an event, but it's flash in the pan, in and out. We're good. We're more like fundraiser assassins. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get good. Yeah. I just wanted to point out something here. This looks like my little brother or me when I wasn't so heavy. That's neither. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah. So once I've already hit it, and Daryl has too. His definition of easy is different than mine, though, right? But again, the spaghetti fundraiser template is on the QK internet and shows you the recipe and just how to do the whole thing in a few Share numbers also. That's one of the reasons that we're here. One of the reasons you guys are mixed up, so you can network and get new ideas, not only just in here, but whatever you're doing the whole weekend, right? And if anybody's got some ideas on the craps table or blackjack, let me know. I need some of those. And the fundraisers are fun. Every time we do a fundraiser, Ellen does a lot of them. We need to get some other people going again. But people want to they want to work that night. So it's not hard to find employees. They want to work that night because we're busier when we do fundraiser nights. The servers are digging it because they get their picture taken with lots of cash. And then it's not their cash, but they still get a picture taken with lots of cash. And we just have never had a bad time with doing a fundraiser. So it's a lot of fun. And we build relationships inside our community. And when we build those relationships, many times the people that we do the fundraisers for, whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or one little town, we call them little dribblers, it's a poor town. They had no money for shoes, they had no money for travel. They had, are we doing okay on time? Last time they pulled me out. They used the cane and took me off the stage.
Yeah, now
Look
I'm
at-
gonna tell him to stay longer, so we're gonna cement his shoes.
What happened now?
We're good. No, no,
Now
no.
they know we need more.
Okay, all right. So when the little kids, the little girls and boys started to be in the working age, they came to Denny's, not all of them, but a lot of them. They wanted to work with us because they had such a great time at the fundraiser. And they just, wonderful. What do you got?
Just because I've done a lot of fundraisers, we were talking about aces and places earlier. And if you prep before and you have your aces in your place, it is such a smooth experience. But if you're last minute scrambling, trying to get everything ready, it's going to exhaust you and you're not going to want to do it again. So prepare and be ready to go, and you'll have a great time too.
It's a wonderful time. Somebody in the earlier class asked me if we do coupons for a bounce back, and again, everything that we're talking about is with DL buy-in, okay? I don't know what happened the last time that David was talking about a lot of margaritas in Tucson. Eugene, is that true? No, he's talking about, he said, I want to tell you how easy your job is, you can have margaritas in the office.
After we succeed.
Oh, okay.
After you're off the
Is
clock.
that a moving left bar? I don't know.
That bar moves up.
But Dennis was in there when he said it, and Dennis said he'd be in the office mixing them, so I went, okay. Right, yeah.
And we learned that speed number 2 on the internet works really good for us.
Okay, so they were asking about coupons during our fundraiser. Absolutely. Does everybody have a business card? Do your managers have business cards? Yes, yes. Oh, Margie, I forgot to call out Margie too. Margie's in El Paso.
And Matt.
And who?
Matt.
Matt. Oh, yeah, yeah. So we did fundraiser down there for a tragic incident, right?
Yeah.
But Margie took it a step further and did another fundraiser. I mean, when I was in your restaurant, truth, you're just following me around going, what about this? How do I do this? How can I do this? What can I do here? And then she took it on herself and did it. So Margie, is it hard? It's not hard at all. But what's the hardest part? Just doing it, right? Just doing it. Just saying, and believe me, you're smarter than me because you only have me for one day and I called Daryl 5 times. Until I was like, do it. So we have on the back of the business cards, we write good for 10% off your next visit. And we have to say at this location because we're so spread out. And then between these two, between Eula and Ellen, there's another Denny's in between, and they don't look too favorably about our coupons. We'll take theirs. Anybody in here take IHOP coupons?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You should. No?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mine has a button for it.
Hey, if they want to take
Oh, competitor, yeah. Yeah, we'll
So I
take
got
it.
that, sure.
Okay, so, next. Oh, there we go.
We just got some together, like a corporate complaint. The caller stated that they really like their food, but it seemed like they have to wait at the door forever before anyone even notices something and see it. And then after standing up there waiting, they had to wait to pay the bill. Now, these people are not very happy for one big reason, they are waiting. So tell me how we can change this.
Hire more hosts.
Hostess.
Manager on the floor,
The tablet won't work if we don't have, okay.
Hire more hosts.
proper
I'm a
staff.
host.
What, I can't hear you.
Manager on the floor and proper staffing. Shouldn't be waiting.
And what if it's,
Well, everything we do is to make money. I mean, whether it's cleaning the restaurant or cooking food or dressing
Right.
people up. And if they're waiting to give you the money, that's just a horrible situation to be in.
have you ever been in a restaurant where you stood there and waited?
We all have.
They don't see me.
If you don't acknowledge them,
Teach.
that's what,
Exactly.
that's all they want. Sometimes all they want is somebody to acknowledge them. So
Yeah,
if you're a dishwasher, you should acknowledge them.
Anything.
Rule.
yeah,
Yeah.
5 foot rule, 5 foot focus.
That's why the manager should be on the floor. She gotta
And what's the other thing that if our management stuff are doing, that would help
Table
with this?
Table touching.
If you're table touching, you can also direct, right? We'll be right with you, and that better be a key to somebody, over there to take care of.
Even the
I
cook
tell them
can
they
do that.
better be there, yeah. If I let it run, they better be really looking at it.
What's your first priority for, no matter what job code it is?
Guests.
That's first.
And breathe, right? So anybody could have come past and said, a service assistant could have come past and said, you can help Jeff? Let me go get somebody for you. Anybody in your store.
The only thing worse than this is the same situation happened, and the cook announces the guest right by. He's finally got a break to go out and have a smoke.
Yeah.
My cooks take cash, they've been trained.
Good job.
They run, they run food too.
Nice.
No cook has to run on there.
Who's cooking? No, I'm just joking.
Two of them are more than they say.
The manager. Okay, so now we've put these breaks in here and these complaints because it happens to you all day long, right? You can't plan when a guest is gonna call. You can't plan when DPL is gonna come in and bother you with stuff. So then we just,
Oh, you're not bothered.
oh, Paul,
You want a silent poll?
you can say yes, it's okay.
I get you quit coming on Thursdays.
No doubt. So we've inserted these things just to kind of keep that interruption going, because your day is a constant interruption. If you planned your schedule in the morning at 6 o'clock when you come in, by 6:02, it's probably completely different. You know, so we just kind of wanted to throw all this stuff in at you guys, and so let's get back to where we were.
Okay, so and I'm talking more about spaghetti fundraisers because I own those, I know more about it. And when you look at the fundraiser, you have the fundraiser that helps out the organization, right? Whether it's the veterans or the little dribblers or the Girl Scouts or you name it, it's going to help them out. And you get the community involvement because those people are coming in from the community. And it's not just that night. To that point, we're handing out coupons. We have our business, every time we have a spaghetti fundraiser, our business increases by 30%. If we have a $1,000 swing shift going on, it's 1,300 at least, just what we're bringing in the register, not counting the fundraiser. And Margie's shaking her head, yeah, so it happened at your restaurant too, when you did your fundraiser, right? They're not just coming in for that. So again, it raises money for the organization, the community involvement, and it creates revenue for us down the road. It's just all goodwill. And all you gotta do is just do it. It's extremely simple to do. And next. Sorry, Carol?
Okay, so we talked about making sure our stores are ready, sales compression. We talked about making sure all the equipment's working. We've talked about fundraisers, community events, how to get those customers, those lapsed customers, those new customers in the restaurant. And being prepared, and we've touched on what our guests are telling us about everything we're doing with Yext and those 1.8 billion hits per day for people potentially seeing what you're doing. If you're flooding that market with community fund events, fundraisers, and inviting people into your restaurant, what do you think is going to happen with those 1.8 billion hits per day that are going on the internet? Okay? Again, same question. Anything we've asked you to do so far, we need more work for you.
We couldn't hear you on that. What was that?
Anything? Okay. Question number 2. if a customer's in your restaurant waving his American Express card, are you gonna chase him off or invite him in? Bring him in. He's gonna pay your electric bill for you. You want him to come back next month? Let him back, please. Good. Any questions?
I think you guys need to get up and stretch and move.
I do
You guys
too.
are just
Just
kind
stretch.
of falling asleep after lunch.
I need a massage. Oh, no.
I can find somebody later today in the casino.
Anybody brave enough to wave his American Express card from my store is crazy, so I'm running them off. Said anybody brave enough to wave their American Express in my store is crazy, so I'm running them off.
We go check out. Run that one
I'm
twice.
calling the cops. Guys,
I'm no better.
it wasn't me.
Oh, that's great. Buy extra batteries and they don't work.
Excuse me.
So we have comments from the people that were in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You guys ready? Can you come next to the top? Yeah! You guys can put yours on. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll do a little chant. What do we want? 25! 25! 25! 25!
It's gonna happen.
Are we ready? 25.
It is gonna happen. Who said that?
What?
It is gonna happen. You're right. It's gonna happen.
Oh, no candy. No, I'm good.
I thought you were going to have There was a challenge.
Oh, it's gonna
You guys were pretty quiet in the first group, weren't you?
Vegas, do you get in trouble for making noise during the day?
Oh, no, we had our
I work with us every day. Feel like Angel's working.
So, truthfully, I've never been in trouble in Vegas. There's always a first, right? Yeah.
Karaoke tonight, Joe.
It's not my first time in Vegas. This is my favorite city. Okay, but I've never been in trouble. Yeah. What did we say today or earlier? Somebody that what happens in Vegas this trip? You can
They're
take.
not standing. Yeah.
Except for if Jim's involved and if it's after midnight. Right? Then it stays here. I want to talk a little bit about my idea on the 25. And I'm observing the class, and you all don't think you're going to be challenged at all. Our morning class, most people are going like, we're going to do that, right? So the way I look at it anyway, one of the owners of the company, well, they both are, sorry, both of the owners of the company, and certainly Robbie also when he was around, they're mentors of mine. And I went to Dennis, that's what I'm talking about, and I had a problem. I forgot what the problem was. I thought it was huge. And I went with him and I thought he was making a joke, but I was serious, right? I'm going like, Dennis, here's my problem. He was kind of, that was back in the day when he was pushing me. He wasn't pulling me, but yeah. Anyway, so I said, Dennis, here's my problem. He goes, Jim, you got this. What's the big deal? And he's going like, and he just, I thought he was making a joke, and he said, how do you eat an elephant? And I'm like, what does that do with my problem? And he goes, eat it one bite at a time, right? Makes sense, right? I mean, if you're gonna eat an elephant, you're gonna eat it. And people are like, I ain't eating an elephant. Okay, but whatever. You got my point, though, right? But see, when I see the 20 and 5 ticket, that's an elephant. That's huge to me. But I think we can all do it. And what I do in my brain is I break that down to 4% a year. I can do that all day long, right? But if you say I'm going to do 20 and 5, I'm going to like, I don't know where to start. That's that elephant thing. So I'm going to break it down and think about it. So some of you are below $10 ticket average. Some of you are much higher. But let's just say $10. You get a ticket, you increase your ticket average 40 cents. Well, that's 4%. And then you're also going to have some menu increases as we go. Sad to say, but it's just the way that the world is, right? We're going to have that. And when you do get that ticket average up, what happens? And you're not going to just get it up by doing nothing. You're actually doing better service, right? You have to get a higher ticket average. So when you do better service, what happens with those guests? Not only do they spend more,
They come back.
they come back. So that's the way I'm getting 20%. My group is gonna get 20% in 5 years, is by excellent service, raising the ticket average right away, and getting repeat customers and new customers, to Daryl's point. Actually, to all these folks' point. We just do things a little bit different. It's all the same at the end. There are some, check it with your DL. You know,
Well, and not only do they come back, there's a better chance they're probably gonna say good things about you and bring more people in.
Yeah,
So,
and social media again too, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So, I still have time?
Yes.
I wanted to address, you can turn your phones on, but silent them, please. Because I want you to go to this webpage. Did you guys see Raise It Fast yesterday in the vendor show last night? And Elizabeth, you knew about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used it for the first time.
Elizabeth and I are on a committee, what do we call it? Updesker, community sense, right?
Community sense.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It's a
Wait.
question.
So go to Google and type in, just Raise It Fast, and it'll come up. Raise It Fast. And I'm gonna tell you what happened today. Gosh darn it, I hope Jackie, you know about it. Because it's in your area. You know what Dell's doing? I'm gonna tell you. Okay. So are you guys like at this thing right here?
Yeah.
Raise It Fast? Yeah, like that right there?
Raise it fast.
Well, I'll show you. Okay, in here, you know how Denny's and Ignite calls it the pancake? So hit the pancake. Then they don't call it that. And a menu will come up, and then you want to hit fundraiser. And this is what we're doing in Cortez with Ellen back in the corner. If you see, there's a event up here called Find the Kind, right? And then keep on going, and then you'll see like a clinic sitting down by herself. You guys there? Am I too fast? You're there. Okay, hit the pancake. And then fundraiser. You guys there yet?
Yep.
Okay, hit the pancake up here. I should say the lines, but else would I say that?
Yeah, no,
And then
pancake's good.
fundraiser.
It's Ignite.
Because that's our terminology in Ignite, right? The pancake.
The pancakes.
So she's got it too, so you'll see. Are you guys there? Yeah, you're there, right?
She's here.
Wonderful. So this is one of our vehicles, and how this works is the guest or the donor pays at least $10, and then if you scroll down, if you go to Donate Now, then you will see the coupon.
While you guys are here, just go
Look,
ahead and
there's
donate.
Cortez,
Huh?
California.
While you guys are here, just go ahead and donate.
Just donate.
Yeah, just donate. That's exactly why I'm doing this. I wasn't that forward. Anyway, in our last one, we did have Lupita. Lisa did donate to this organization. You'll scroll and see her name.
If you look right now, you have under, if you go to the pancake, you go to, if you scroll down.
Yeah, there you go.
New partners, Denny's,
Right, and so this is the second one. The first one we attempted was Liz in Scottsdale, but the timing was not good for us.
Yeah.
It was too close to our event. This one, the problem that I see is we went to the organization to renew and told them, hey, we want to give you money, but here's what you have to do, and they haven't done jack. But we still got $165. And because of it, Ellen also had a spaghetti fundraiser that was weak, but it's still, because they haven't done anything, but it still raised $500.
Well, and so we are having really heavy snow right now, and a lot of people that come to these things are live out of town from us. And, you know, a lot of the times, this is older people that don't want to travel in that. So I think that factored into it not being as lucrative if we'd maybe given it another week. But then again.
You got 2 days, so get busy. That's what it says on here, right? 2 days.
I don't mean about the funding on the website. I mean
Oh,
spaghetti
okay.
dinner.
So, and you are getting a cold, so you don't want to be around Ellen or Carl, because Carl's got some kind of flu bug going on. Look at her, look at her. Or go get one of those masks. So what we're doing in Utah just came up is earlier today, because of our website, somebody went to Raise It Fast, a soccer team that wanted to raise money, right? So Sarah came to me and goes, Jim, what do you think? And I'm going like, I think we need to do it, but you want to do it with the Denny's that are closer, right? So that we can, because we own all the Denny's, right? Or do we? I mean, well, Chad's going to jump into it also.
Yeah, Chad's on, it's my store.
Okay, so Chad's going to jump into this program also, though. And so, did you hear about it?
Yeah, I met with Dell.
So there you go. Okay, so you probably know more than I do. I just heard that, the outline of it. So how it works is you can donate $10 minimum up to whatever you want to donate, right? And once they donate $10, then they get a 20% off coupon or whatever you guys want to set up. Did they do 20?
Free appetizers.
See, I think that needs to be 20. But if it's not working, change it to 20. I'm also on the committee, though. All right? Yeah, you're on the committee too. Yeah,
I'm over here.
yeah,
20%.
we're on the committee. All right. So, yeah, that's 3. No. Anyway, it is. And so what I did, we got so many. I strategically I was in Ellen's restaurant, and I looked at some tables that had over $50 tickets, right? And so I went up, I did the cell phone thing, I said, hey, follow me. And I go, if you donate $10, you get 20% off your bill. And I only went to 2 tables and they both donated. I think one did more than 10.
Yeah, I think I went to 20.
Whatever. And I said, Ellen, you're taking these coupons right now. But so we could drive that too. How that works though, is they get 7% of the donation. So I don't care. That's $10, they're getting 70 cents. Who cares? Right? Anyway, that's a vehicle that we're trying. I want that company to be successful. I want us to be successful. We can tie it in. We can still do fundraisers, whatever your choice is, whether it's a big event or a spaghetti fundraiser, or just run with these. And Eula and I are going to do one, and Priscilla and I are going to do one also. I'm just trying to fine tune and tweak this thing so it works for us. So you guys, you want to just have another vehicle in your restaurants to increase revenue, increase sales. So any questions on that? It's a cool thing, all right?
And even though it was a short time, I still got donations, and I still got some that were from other people just sharing the page. And then they're allowed to leave a comment. It's kind of like the GoFundMe, and I have some that said like, people, like, it says, this is lit, stuff like that. I'm like, that is so cool. I know that it comes from one of us, but it's just.
Then you can get your staff involved to like send out the webpage,
Have them all
call
share
their
on social
friends
media.
and on Facebook. And
Well, it's just like any kind of social media. It takes a little bit for people to become familiar with it, to where they're like, oh, okay, I want to go do this. But if
Right.
you're not verbalizing it, you're not talking about it, it's going to stay stagnant.
The key with my style of fundraising, though, is that the organization has to do work. Because I'm not just going to give out free money, even though I'm doing this with the test. It's better off when somebody comes to us and says, hey, I want money. In fact, in Cortez, before Ellen, we did the fire department. We had the fire truck go with the ladder. We had a stop car there. We had the police come down and fingerprint little kids, that kind of thing. They wanted to see if I wanted the fingerprint, and I said, no way. But it's too much. Okay. A little busy. Yeah. And then what else we know? Obviously, New Mexico, this girl comes up. She looked like Cinderella, right? But she wanted us to donate money to go to the Miss Cinderella USA. And we said, oh, here's what we do. Now you got to sell 100 tickets, $10 each. And then for kids, it's $5 each. Anyway, you'll see the template, and I'll be here to answer any questions. And these guys will too. But she came in, she sold the tickets by herself. So when little Cub Scouts say we can't sell 100 tickets, one girl did by herself, right? And then what was cool is we did the spaghetti fundraiser, and they took their picture and the front page of the Hobbs newspaper.
So what's the percentage on that spaghetti?
Well, okay, here's what we do. So we buy it from Cisco or your purveyor, whatever. You can go down and buy it if you want. But we end up open food sales to us for $285. Just the product. We don't buy the product. They get all the rest of the money. We do buy the soft drink, so they get soft drink, all you can eat spaghetti dinner with herb toast, and an ice cream sundae. And if they want a little bit of topping on it, we give it to them. Most people don't. We just say vanilla or chocolate. We say strawberry. So that's pretty much what we do, right, you guys? That's what we do, right? And then so we bring in the $285, and we still give them like $1,300, I'll say $1,000 to $1,400 after 4.
So they, are they all eating at once?
No.
Or is it like
I just let them come in. In fact, our feature that night is the spaghetti dinner.
So you take
Because-
one night.
Okay, one night. It was, okay.
Because, well, yeah, my template is one night, and that's where we went back to the social media, our Facebook, and the flyers that we do, and whatever they're doing, right? And yeah, it's wonderful because it's really quick. And then there's another one of my managers that got a letter from John Miller for all the money that she raised for, I call them the Geek Squad, but they're like the high school computer class. I call them Mike and Geek too, but yeah, I do. Yeah. But it's the Revenge of the Nerds, right? Remember that movie? And we all made fun of the nerds. Well, there's one of them. All right, so,
I'm gonna
okay.
add a couple things to this. So how many of you in here by show of hands have done a fundraiser? What? Okay, so you're here with your peers, right? Everybody has the same job. We all have the same trials, tribulations, great moments, rough moments in our stores. Anybody disagree with that? So if Margie can make this happen, and you can make this happen, and Paul can make this happen, all of you can make this happen. You all have the time, you have the skills, and you have your peers for help if you're confused, you need help with any of it, you've got DLs, you've got Jim, you can call Daryl 5 times, and then he'll hang up on you until you just do it. But this is possible. We're not sitting around the board table in Atlanta, Georgia, saying, wow, I've got an idea. Let's have all of our managers do this. Somebody else says, well, is that going to work? I don't know. Let's just try it. This has been proven that this works. It's been proven that you're going to get your 25, and this is going to be one of the ways you get that. It's going to help you with this. So this is possible, and it is so much fun. I'm going to tell you a quick story, maybe. Yes, I am. We did a spaghetti fundraiser, first one I was involved in, and it was in Paul's store on Dyer Street. And the thing that was so fun about it was, who was it, Paul? It was the...
Angels, the Guardians of the Children, or?
Yes.
It was a biker group.
It was the biker group,
Plus
yeah.
I had the Young Marines there.
And the Young Marines came in and helped. And we're talking the Young Marines. These are from 10 to 15, 16-year-olds. And at first they were just kind of running around talking to tables. And we got so busy, very small store this one was done in. We got so busy. And this was his first. And we had spaghetti sauce on the ceiling, and we had spaghetti sauce all over the kitchen, right? And this kitchen is one of the cleanest kitchens in the company too, I'll throw out there. And so we had these little, and we were both in the kitchen, and I looked over, and here's these Young Marines pre-bussing tables going back to my dish unit, and I'm going, oh, this might not be good. You know, but so we just kind of went like this because we really needed their help, and we just pretended they were there. They come out and they're filling Cokes for people and stuff. Thinking,
Rolling
oh,
silverware.
well, with rolling silverware, you know, they were having a blast, and so were we. And one of the other managers who was in the kitchen sent a picture of the kitchen to Margie's husband, in fact, Uriel, awesome cook. And he replies back, get them out of the kitchen. But I say this because we were busy, but we all had so much fun, and so did everybody that was involved in this fundraiser. So yeah, you can do this. It's possible to prove it to you.
Ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. So Yext, what Yext is, everybody know what Yext is?
Yes.
Well, Yext is a company that the geeks figured out also. And what it is it's a clearinghouse, a big funnel that's our company goal, by the way, is for that all these and similar companies have reviews. There's a big funnel, and out comes this score at the bottom of our score of what our guests are telling us by all those vehicles right there. So instead of us looking at Yext and Travelocity and Yelp and everything else out there, we can just look at Yext and go from there. They actually make money. I don't know how much they charge Denny's corporate, but some businesses they charge $300 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not just for restaurants, it's for casinos, it's for hotels, it's for cars, it's for whatever, you name it, it's just out there. Reporting client for guest feedback. All right. I don't want you guys yelling at me for spending too much time. So who's in the red or the blue? Who do we have here? Give you guys a hand.
For the entire year in 2018.
I'm happy with the 4.0 too. You, thanks, and whoever else is in here. But I want point out also, look at El Paso. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, right?
Yep.
And El Paso has, correct me if I'm wrong, at the bottom of your tickets, you have the 20% discount thing.
Every single ticket.
Every
Ask
single
your
ticket.
leader.
Okay, so who's my El Paso people? What are your sales up?
This
Last year.
double digits.
Double digits.
Yeah, double digits.
Who else is El Paso?
Nobody in here.
Your store's not up here though, right?
Paul's in
Paul's El
Horizon.
Paso.
No,
Paul?
But he's not up here, but he's.
he's in Horizon.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay,
count.
okay.
Horizon.
And Eugene, where are you at up here? Are you up here?
Eugene's a-
Tucson.
Which one?
6950.
2.9.
Nice.
Yeah, right there. What are your sales are astronomically up, right?
No, well,
Yes, they are.
infinitely up.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, it's way out there.
He'll be 3 million this year.
Okay.
And Eli
Wow.
from Corpus Christi, you're up there. 6759.
Yes,
Okay, so Eli, what are your sales increase this year?
18%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is a 4.0. Look at all these people are there. And there's other ones that are just close. I mean, I have 2 people in here right now that are 4.89. I'm sorry, 3.89. Why do you think we want our goal to be a 4.0? Because of the sales increases. Check it out. I don't think there's anybody on here that has. That means I have to talk faster. That's what happens.
Yeah, that means.
Damn.
I tell you,
Okay. I was like,
time, that would pull him off the stage again.
Okay, so we want to drive for a 4.0. We want to get there. You're going to have some bad comments, right? Like the boyfriend's mad because her girlfriend came home this server and she was upset, so it's going to be a bad comment. Well, on the other side, you're going to be happy because the boyfriend gave a good comment because his girlfriend just got a job there. So you balance it out though, and it's still going to come through the Yext filter into an average, right? So let me talk about what our scores were last year compared to Denny's and what we're at right now. Last year as a brand, that's Denny's, was 3.75. We were 3.78. Give yourself a hand. 4.0, that's the goal. I mean, that's not a hard goal. Priscilla, she's not there. I'm roughing her up, okay? She just got remodeled, but she's not there. Obviously, she's here. She's getting a 5.0 this week.
Ooh, good job.
Well, I don't know. I'm going, she's here. She's not there though. That's bad, isn't it? That's bad. Okay, and then, so this year, we are at 3.86. So we went up from 3.78 to 3.86 year to date. The last 30 days, we're 3.89, going up, right? Not so fast. We're at 3.86 the last 7 days. But still, that's 0.14 away from our goal of 4.0, right? So the way we get there, check your reviews frequently. I send out my district reviews to everybody. Hope your DLs would do that for you also, so that you can see what your peers are doing, either good or bad, right? And monitor your progress. So put that on your success center. By the way, we're getting new success centers, like what your goal is, where you're at. Use your reviews as an insight to improve the guest experience. There's a lot of good feedback there, right?
Yep.
And even your 4.0 people, there's a lot of great feedback, right, for you guys. You post it? You post your score, or your comments?
Yes.
Okay. And rip down the old ones?
No, we put them up too.
I mean, but how long you keep them?
Every week I would do them.
Oh, every week? Every week you get them or every day?
No, well, I put them every week.
Gotcha, okay. And then share your reviews with the team, that's what I'm talking about right there. But I share my reviews with the district, right? And sometimes they get bad reviews and they don't like it. And I tell them like, hey, if you don't want to, they call me out and say, Jim, how come you're throwing me the curb? I can't throw you the curb. You're the one that your operations suck. Why let somebody else? I just tell them, yeah.
Change your district leader.
I'm just recording, I'm just the Yola, but yeah, I'm just going like, hey, this is what
Judy, do you need a GM?
Yeah, I'll be there. Now Liz and Paul are going, ooh.
Remember to go back home, you have to cross a certain point. Okay, get your team in on the act and trust your reviews. That's the whole deal. You're trust all week, right? You're just going to hear more. So So trust your reviews. Obviously, we don't like the bad ones, we all get them. And we love the good ones, but trust them, so that average score. And I think they're looking at it, so I'm done. Unless you have questions, any questions?
Okay.
So not everybody needs a review, but they do see the stars. Is there a place you go because there is something written down, or that's all you're gonna see is?
It depends. There are people in our area, they like to talk about it.
But if
So
it's
there's
not-
stars and there's comments.
But if you don't see comments right there, you can't click the little Google thing.
But there's no comment. And there's no-
Well, hold on.
There's just-
You are not in the right place, and I can show you how to do that, but who's your district leader?
Dina.
She needs to, I'll talk to her and say, hey, Dina, you need to send out the comments. She gets them every day.
She sends them out.
Huh?
No, she sends them out. But what I'm saying is 9 out of 10 don't say anything.
Oh, yeah. If you don't get a comment, you don't get a comment. You just
I just thought there might be somewhere else and it was there.
No. What you see is what it is every
Can we
place.
email them and tell them?
We can't respond.
Hold on.
Ask your district leader.
Yeah, okay, so as we go and as we figure this out, we will most likely have GMs respond, but that's not yet. Ask your district leader. Yes.
Someone can probably answer this for me too. Isn't it true that when you have your location turned on your phone, when you leave places or whatever, does it come up on your phone to
Yes,
tell you?
it does.
Or is it like old timers like me? I have my location turned off. I didn't know that. So what I have started to do, and I have my hostesses do, people and the servers as well, is that we're talking about, they're great, service. So as they're leaving or we're at the table, we say, give us a good review. We don't tell them where to go or what to
Oh, I know what
say,
you're talking
but
about.
we just kind of bring it up. And either for those people that have it turned on, your phone's going to pop up anyway. And if those people that don't, that's your opportunity. So they don't know what you're talking about. You can say, well, if you turn your location on your phone, it's going to come up. We can give a review. And then they understand. And we've gotten some good feedback with that.
That's why you want to have the experience great from start to finish, right? Because we could do a great job of greeting the guests and great food and all that. And then if we have a complaint, we have to wait to pay. What's the people going to say? It's not going to be a good review.
And those that leave the location on, when they pass by it, it comes up and says, will you rate this place?
Yeah. You guys can flip the screen anytime.
Let's talk about the Harvard School of Business. There are a bunch of people that get together that spend a lot of money to get us data, and this was their survey. Only 2% of your guess about social media was important right now. 3 years from now, 75%. This is the survey. This is what they say. It's 3 years. 75% are going to feel that social media is extremely important. So what does this mean for your business? Your guests are telling the world 1.8 million, is that what you said, people, what their experience was like?
Per day.
Per day. So is that 75% having an impact on you? Okay. Now here's what's really kind of impressive about this. This was done in January 2017. We are here now, 75% by next year. That's how important this is going to be for you. So review your reviews. Work on them, trust them, believe in them, and let's make sure that we're really, really focused on this, because this is worse than word of mouth. I come to your store and I'm upset, and I call my mother, and I call my sister. That's not 1.8 million people here. I don't have that many siblings. So let's really, really focus on this, because this is now, it's not going away, and this is going to increase. I just got back from Hawaii. And while I was there, I wanted to try some Hawaiian-type restaurants and food. So where do you think I went?
Denny's.
Social media. So, and there is one there, though. I saw it. But the point is when these scores come up, when you Google these and review these, when these scores come up, your 5 stars are listed first, and it goes all the way down. Where do you want to be on that list? If you're too far down, nobody's even going to know you're there. And then if you're there, because we're Denny's, everybody knows Denny's, right? Even in Hawaii, everybody knows Denny's. So if they're looking at you and you're in your town and your score is 2.5, which nobody is, but do you think they're going to come in even Denny's? Probably not to your store. So really, really believe in these, trust them, and let's jump on this and move along.
I have one more thing to say about that, because Jim has really been adamant that we post those comments on a daily basis. and what to do. And I really appreciate the fact that he sends us all of them, because the good and the bad ones, because we post those in those situations. You can just change the store, but it might have happened in your store. And so I've actually taken those out, and I'll even, the circle of this so that let the staff, the cooks, whoever, this happened. It could easily have happened to us. And I think that's very powerful, and it seems to be working because everybody, it gets the staff talking. They look at it and they'll point at it. We had one about cigarettes a while back, and that one went up, or the staff smoking outside the door, and that one went up in my restaurant. I put it in several places, and it made a big, huge impact on the staff because they read it.
Involve your
That
team,
went up to somebody else.
absolutely involve your team and your district and our company, because you're right, it can happen to any of us. And,
Oh, goodness.
we have a new one. Your server tells you that one of your guests would like to speak to the manager. So you go over to the guests, they look familiar to you, you're certain they've been in before, you observe they've eaten their meal as you're walking over to their table, everything looks good, and they appear to be happy and delighted, right? Which is what we're always striving for. You smile, you introduce yourself, and you ask them, your server wanted to see me. And they proceed to tell you that your server was absolutely fabulous and friendly. You ordered the pot roast melt because he suggested it. Way to go, Mr. Server there. And he was glad he did because it was delicious. He tells you that they're pleased each time they come to your Denny's. And Denny's is their favorite Saturday lunch hangout. He thanks you for great employees and a clean, inviting atmosphere. Fabulous comment, right? Is this what we want all the time from every single guest?
Yes.
But on top of this, there's a couple of things that shouldn't have happened. Can anybody tell me what you noticed with this? The server had to go get you. Perfect. What else is wrong with this?
We approached the table and said, your service ain't going to see.
No point.
To a point. Okay, I'll agree with Daryl on that one. What else? These people were happy, right? So what
How
could
long were
possibly
they in
be
the
wrong?
restaurant? 38 minutes at least, right?
Yeah, we can take that.
So how come, if they're done, and they've been in your building for at least 30 minutes, did the server have to get you? If you were out on your floor, touching your tables, you'd already know this. Your server should not have had to come and get you. But there's something else there too.
Why doesn't the guest know the name of the server?
Absolutely, they're regulars. They come in your store every Saturday and you don't know them. It looks familiar to you, but you should be able to walk up to them and say, Mr. Jones, I am so glad you're back in here, but you should have done that when you were table touching. So great comment, but now what are we gonna do with this? So we know what we should have done now, but what are we gonna do with this?
Ask them to give you a good review.
Hey, can you tell me X, please? You gonna say anything to your server?
Of course.
Are you going to just tell that server? Or are you gonna broadcast this to the whole company and let people know?
Most of the time, they're
We
going to
praise
broadcast
and
it
we share
themselves
what
on
we think is
Twitter.
right. What else are you gonna do? There's somebody else involved in here that did a great job for this guest.
Cook.
The cook, same thing. Hey, who made that pot roast melt that just went out? And they're gonna look at you, they're gonna go, eh. Well, I did. That guest said that was the best sandwich they've had in a long time. Thank you so much.
Well, if I wasn't table touching, I probably made the pot roast.
But in 30 days, you'll be having margaritas and
One more time, So even though we have the great comment here, it wasn't quite perfect, but we're still going to share that with our staff because our staff didn't let this guest down. We did as managers.
Right.
We should have known this long before that happened. Back to the Harvard Business Review, because now we're going to go back to what we were doing, right? A one-star increase in overall rating can increase your sales. But by how much? And we're not even talking a whole star. But if we do increase a star, what do you guys think? On percentage-wise, what do you think?
5%.
5 to 9%. So if you're at a 1.5 million base right now, just by being nice and doing what we teach people to do and what we're supposed to do, you're going to end up with a 1.6 store for the end of the year by changing nothing other than your review rating. So we didn't increase prices. The only thing we did is we trained better. We talked about all those objectives that we did. train better. We created wow moments. We are implementing teamwork in our stores. You know, everything else that entails hospitality. So that's what your result can be with that. So let's review some of this. Know your score. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're starting from. Set your goals and make them realistic. Trust your score. Sometimes the trust part's the hard part. Trust your score. This is what people see in your store. It says, as the guest sees it, it's their perception. Even it might not be exactly the way you saw it, but it's how they saw it. They're the ones that are doing social media. Believe in your reviews. Use these people. If you could call them all and say, thank you so much for letting me know. Would you?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely, because that's how we get better. That's how we improve and that's how we get better. And we have that goal of 4.0. And involve your team. You can't do it by yourself. Can you run your restaurant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, alone?
No.
Can you even think about that? How horrible that would be.
No.
Get the, I'll be right with you as you're cooking this previous table's food. I'm going to be a fiasco. So you can't do this. Involve your team. And they can only know what you tell them. And if you don't go back and share everything you've learned in this conference with your teams, then you only got part of that right. Anybody have any questions on social media? Okay, so just too quiet. What are we going to do? We already made them get up and run.
Okay, I have something to say about the social media and comments, how you were saying that we can comment back. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting because prior to coming to this conference, I hadn't been to Las Vegas in 25 years. So I just looked up the Palace Station and I was reading their reviews on the various websites. But what I thought was interesting was somebody was replying to them. But then after I read about 5, 6, 10 of them, I'm going, this sounds like almost robotic.
It is.
And it didn't sound like it was real. And it was, well, I'm sorry that we felt that way. Come visit us again. And I'm going, it was just, it didn't make it feel real.
On that, there was a slide out here where we were talking about ways to increase your reviews. We actually put that on there originally. We put respond to negative and respond to positive reviews. However,
Ask your disagreement.
so we took them off because that's exactly what we don't want to happen. How many different ways can you say you're sorry? You know, when you're just reading something that somebody said. So we took those off, but that
I
may
think
be
you should
something that
sometimes
comes up.
open up a two-way bag of words
Yes.
on the internet for everybody to see.
Well, on that note, I'll just share something that happened in my store recently on Facebook. We all know we teach our staff when we hire not to, I always just use the disclaimer like, don't go on social media and badmouth the place to work, people you work for, or anywhere else or discuss it at all, period. Well, some people listen, some people don't. Recently, I had a young, very young, old enough to work there, but young person, which went online, and she made a comment about, one of my employees made a comment about how somebody who had $100-some bill only left a couple dollars or no tip at all. She didn't say anything else, but somebody else saw it and started a conversation, and other people joined in, and it just kept going on, and it kind of like became this war. And fortunately, our staff didn't get involved in it, and our staff, which because they got in trouble for that, just for commenting, they took it down, and then the rest of it got taken down. But I just went, it was almost instantaneous how much that just went boom.
1.8 million people a day.
Yes, it was
Right.
huge. And one of my managers, the one that saw it, brought it up, and he goes, he'd already had talked to him and they brought it and took it down. But I just couldn't believe in that how very, very careful you need to be about that stuff because people could take it out of context and it could blow up in your face.
Yes.
Maybe something about maybe comments on the negative and the good. I've gone on some of mine, obviously negative because I wanted to space and see where we can do better. I just put them that I would love to speak to them. I'm the general manager, and they're, I'd love them to call me to my restaurant and just love the restaurant.
And there's our disclaimer one more time.
That's
Exactly. And we had talked about that. Okay, so let's move along here. Yes, complaints. We love them, don't we? We all wake up every morning and, yes, I hope I can talk to 14 angry people, right? Humor tomorrow.
All right, that's plain. See this line right here?
Here.
That's the line we want. We really need it to be no complaints. Pretty self-explanatory, huh? Delight and make it right. We've all heard that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what does delight mean?
Just one month and invite for sure.
What else does it mean?
A wow.
Wow. What else?
To make the overall experience of them coming in so desirable that they would like to return.
Good.
Make a wow moment.
Say that again. Will you say that again?
Make
So
a
as
wow.
to make their experience so desirable that they would like nothing more than to return.
Love that. Oh, I do too.
Very nice.
And make a well moment again? Is that what you said?
Yes, make a wow moment.
Super. Well, when we do mess up, how do we make it right?
Don't fight. Make it right.
Tact.
Talk.
Exactly. And the hardest part on that is
Trust.
and
Apologize.
What's the C?
Correct.
And the last T?
Bingo.
So, but the hardest part on there again is the trust. We had a customer at one of the locations complain, trying to call that customer 3-4 different times, set up 2 appointments, she missed both of them. Third one, I just knew she wasn't coming, but she showed up. She had a complaint on the horrible food that she received 30 days after she put in the complaint. But she'd only been in that restaurant one time, according to her. So, once again, that was probably my first big, huge step of trusting the gal. Because she had it in black and white. And she wanted her $57.17. And she got her $57.17.
Absolutely.
And we picked up a party of 30, second Tuesday of every month. It's been going on now for 10 months. So if you trust, you can benefit from it.
Explaining sometimes to your servers too, though, has gone a long way in my restaurant, because if they're like, ooh, table 33 wasn't seen, they said this and that, but it's not true, they ate every bite, and I'm like, ah. I go to the table, I fix it, I make it right, and then I go back and talk to that server, because they don't understand that. They want to be real offensive, you know? So working with them, training them has helped us a lot.
And it will. The
It's
more
the
educated
you
get from them, that it's like, they just want free food. Why are, and it's like, you know what, I don't care. It doesn't matter what they want, just trust what they're saying. And the way I was able to trust is I stopped personalizing it. They weren't accusing me of, like Pat had that happen too. But I started out, trusting me, yeah. That, you know, they weren't accusing me, they weren't saying, Jackie, you suck. They were saying, this happened. And that's where I could finally start building that trust.
A little helpful thing is, we don't want to be right, we want to make it right.
Exactly.
So it's not about the server being right about what she's saying, it's what we're going to do to make it right for the guests. So I don't care if you're right or not, I'm going to make it right.
It's not, it doesn't matter if the server screwed up or whoever trained her in 1910 screwed up on training. It happened. We fixed it.
Empowerment. Doug talked about this morning, and he even said, find your DLs because they're gonna be squirming in their seats, right?
Ask your deal.
Ask your DL, yeah, ask your DL. So, the challenge with you empowering your servers is, what's your first thought with that? You're gonna let your servers take care of these gifts and make it right. What's your challenge? What in your mind right now are you going, okay,
Beth, I'm not telling you when there's problems, I'm trying to cover up mistakes that they made, I'm blaming someone else for the mistakes that they made.
she is thoughtful.
They're gonna give discounts to people that they like, so that they get
If
better
I give you a discount, I'll get a bigger tip, all of those things. But that's where you have your coaching moment later. we're gonna support your servers. If they make a decision with the guest, especially in front of the guest, we're not gonna correct that. We're not gonna say, oh, no, we are not finding that stuff. Why do we do this? It's, so empower your staff, but then go through those coaching moments later. And it's just like if your manager, your assistant managers make a decision, whether you like it or not, you have to support that, right? Because they dealt with an employee. What do we do later? Yeah, let's maybe talk about this just a little bit more. So it gets back to the training, but that empowerment is very, very powerful and it's very scary. And we do it to an extent anyway. Every time we go to the bank during the day, and you're the only manager on, you trust your staff there, right? So to also not just trust your guests, but trust your staff too. But follow up. Follow up is the key to this. You know, make sure that what they did and the decisions they made were what you would have done, and also for the guests. Because what are we trying to do here? Find a way to say yes every time. I really want ham with my biscuits and gravy. What are we gonna say?
Not a problem.
Yes, we can do that for you.
But it'll be 99 cents extra.
But that's the way. Find a way. The key to this is to find a way to say yes.
You want the $4 biscuits and gravy, hold the hash browns and add a T-bone? Okay. Yeah, just can.
There will be an additional cost.
That's the
Now you
find
know.
a way. And Jackie, I just go through one, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So any questions on this whole empowerment thing? I know it's tough to wrap your head around because I'm having a problem with wrapping my head around.
But it's back to the whole trust,
It
all
gets
the
to
way down the
trusting.
line.
And follow up.
There's one thing that Deb taught us a long time ago, and it was whether it be your managers that you're talking about talking to, or talking about the environment, or your staff, is that if you personally cannot at that moment in time be involved in whatever happened, as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or unethical, you roll with it, and then you say, that was how you handled that time. This next time, let's try it this way. But I really follow that illegal, immoral, unethical, because it does empower them and makes them feel like they're taking care of the situation.
Right, right. And hindsight's always 20/20. You always know the right answer afterwards. When you get stuck with a guest that's really upset, sometimes we just want to make them happy right then and there. And then later you can go, well, maybe I should have said this. But hindsight's always 20/20.
I feel like when you empower your staff to do that, they become more invested in the company.
That would be the goal.
I'd also like to point out, when we're doing this, and David will like this, we do it out of love. We don't punish our people because it wasn't exactly how we wanted. We want it to be a coaching opportunity, not punitive.
Absolutely.
On the backside of that though, if you talk to a server more than 3 times
Oh,
regarding
wow.
how they react to
But now you're talking about the performance issue on
And
your
that's where we need
that's
the
not
paper trail.
empowerment.
That's where people should go.
Okay.
That's them screwing up.
Prevention.
Because they're not
but
learning.
also their thought
Okay, so
process.
let's
How you
talk
doing,
about
Jen?
Jen.
You doing okay? You
Going
doing
on like
okay?
5 minutes to give you
No,
guys
I
this
don't
here.
care. You okay? You doing good? Did I just table touch?
No.
I touched every table. So didn't I table touch?
You table touched, but you didn't
Really,
communicate.
really that. Exactly. Talk to every guest every day. Open-ended question. And I stole Jackie's other slide.
That's okay. By the curve, but we don't have that. It's all good.
So prevention, that's exactly what prevention is. And the way you prevent it is knowing what's going on in your store. Not sitting in your office watching the cameras to see what's going on in your store. Being out on that floor. Because nothing is more important to you than that guest. Nothing. What time do we have? Okay, I'll shut up. Okay, I'll shut up.
And let's do this. We have to eliminate guest complaints. And the golden ticket, does anybody know what the golden ticket is?
Your crown, ma'am.
My crown. The golden ticket, the way we're gonna do this, is table touch. We're out there every 20, 30 minutes, table touching. It's gonna eliminate your guest complaints. You'll be able to, you'll still have problems, but you'll be able to stop them right then and there. And I'd much rather talk one-on-one to a guest about something wrong versus further up the line. Empower your staff, give your guests a reason to come back, but you have to touch every table in that restaurant.
What are we gonna do?
Just
Yes, sir.
Next. Guiding principles. Oh, we have a complaint.
No problem.
Okay, so, yeah, here we go. Oh, okay. So as you approach the table, you notice the guests still have their menus. The gentleman is flipping it back and forth through the pages, clearly looking for something. You introduce yourself and ask, how can you give assistance? The guest tells you, and he hasn't been in for quite some time. And the last time he was in, he had the senior stage steward again. He doesn't understand why something so good isn't offered anymore. He tells you that he specifically came in for that item, and he is clearly upset that it's not available. What do you do? What do you say and share? Go ahead. It happened. I cut up the sirloin and put it on a stick.
Yup, there you go.
That's a big
You make it for them.
We'll make it.
We have the product, make it for us.
Yep.
Of course.
Okay? Very
Darren
good.
put it very well.
I didn't get
What he
candy.
said was, ask him, what was it that you really, really liked about that? You know, maybe I could put some
Bite-sized.
lettuce on it, put some vegetables with it, put it on a stick, cut it for him, whatever it takes.
But if we have the product, make it.
So here's our guiding principles, because I talked to what we really have to reflect on these. Yes, first. I think that's pretty clear, right? We've
Yep.
been talking about that all day long. Embrace openness. We're open-minded to all people. This kind of gets right back into the rules we live by that they talked about at the opening session this morning. Proud of our heritage. Denny's has been around for a long time. They've seen a lot. They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two. I've been practicing. Hungry to win. So proud. What do? We love to feed people, right? And the power of we.
Always free.
And I think that was on the bottom is very smart.
Farmington just recently, 2017, we got a new restaurant and our old one was torn down. So all of you have the pictures now in your restaurant, the old covered Annie's on there and stuff, and the waitresses in the open for. I'm telling my age, but you would not believe the number of people that ask me two things. One, is that my restaurant? Well, in the picture, because mine was so old. And two, that's me in the picture.
Five steps of service. We just shortened this. We shortened it for the servers, we shortened it for the guests, and we tried to make this a little more streamlined. But I'm going to point out that our timing standards didn't change. Our welcome is still a minute. Our beverage order is still 2. Our food order is still 5. Meal presentation is still 10. For a total of 19 minutes still. This didn't change. We just simplified it for you. So why did we change all this? We changed it, but our ITT skills still apply. All these servers that have worked for us, that we beat this into them, that still applies. It meets our guest needs better. The simple, more simple for the servers, and it was a more natural interaction instead of the whole canned response of the whole ITT thing. So that's why Denny's changed this. We wanted to make it better for our staff and for our guests. Your servers spend 45 minutes with your guests. You need to make sure they're creating these wow moments as well. People come in for a server. They don't come in because Susie makes sure the cook cooks over Easy A's better than the next place. They come in for that staff. They come in for your regulars. So make sure that if your servers are spending 45 minutes, it's the 45 minutes that you would like them to spend with that. And providing great service is making sure your guests have everything they need. So if that's great service, what's hospitality? Making sure they have everything they need before they know they need it. Napkin dropped on the floor, server sees it, comes by and gives them a new one. They didn't even know they needed it yet. Our objectives, sales building. We all know that, 20 and 5, right?
25.
Community involvement, we want one event per quarter. Local store marketing, one local store marketing event per month. 4.0 or higher for yes, which we've talked about. Guest complaints? None. Zero. Nothing there, right? So here is a video from our guest speaker that we're going to see when we go on. I got to fix you.
Oh, excuse me. It's Jones Laughlin. You may be seeing me for the first, second, or third time, depending on which workshop you've been in today. And I have the privilege later on today of talking to you about recognition in the workplace. Right now, however, as you know, or may not know if it's the first time you've seen me, at the end of each one of your workshops today, I'm offering you a tool to use to take all this great stuff that you've gotten in the workshop and put it into action. And of course, this has been a packed session with ideas about Yext and handling guest complaints and using the TACT model and so many other things that if I were you, my head would be swimming right now with, okay, how do I put this into action? My suggestion to you is that you come up with a daily way to evaluate your obsession with hospitality, and the tool is called the 3 Daily Questions. Here's what you do. At the beginning of the week, you decide on 3 questions that you'd like to ask yourself at the end of your shift that will help you to determine if you're obsessed with hospitality that day. Now, they're not general. These are as specific as possible based on the content from this workshop. And so one of your questions might be, did I do my best to handle guest complaints today? Now, the reason did I do my best to is because you know there are things going to happen in your restaurant and maybe things are out of your control, but did you do your best to handle guest complaints? And then you rate yourself at the end of the day as you reflect on these 3 questions for how you did. 1 means awful, 10 means perfect. And so where are you in how you handle guest complaints for that particular day? And so you give yourself a rating. Then you stop and go, okay, if I got a 6 today, how can I get a 7? Or if you got a 9, so how can I maintain the same type of attitudes and behaviors that will get me a 9 again tomorrow? And of course, that's just 1 question. Come up with 2 more. And then you'll find at the beginning of each day, when you start your shift, you start conditioning yourself to get a high score, because nobody likes to get a low score. You start conditioning yourself to get a high score in the evening by engaging in the very 3 activities that you have built into these 3 questions. And my challenge to you is to do it about a week, and then you might find that you want to change those 3 questions and come up with 3 different ones. Or maybe you're doing really well with 1, and so you change it, but maybe the other 2 you're still struggling, so you keep those. But the key is to come up with 3 daily questions that you can ask yourself at the end of your shift to determine if you were obsessed with hospitality. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me right now. I'll see you later.
Okay, one more rally cry. 20 and 5.
25.